Welcome, everyone. Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, sorry, I was trying to double meeting at the same time.
Welcome to the Monday, June 5th, 2023 Board of Trustees meeting for the Village of Lansing. I want to welcome everyone who is here online and in person. I'm going to start with roll call. Susan Ainsley.
Present.
Craig Bowman.
Present.
Carolyn Greenwald.
Here.
Drew Riedel.
Present.
Bonnie Hardaway is present also, so we're all here tonight. And thank you for coming. Okay, I will open the public comment period for tonight. This is for public comment. Anyone who is here in person or online, if they have a public comment related to a topic that is not on our agenda tonight. So if you have any comments, please speak up. Carla. And say your name, please.
I'm Carla Marso. I'm here as an observer for the community party.
Welcome, Carla. Anyone else?
I'm Lorraine Capagrossi, and I'm here representing the Village Planning Board tonight.
Welcome. Thank you. Any other comments? I will move that we close the public comment period.
Second.
Susan seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So the next order of business tonight is to approve two sets of minutes. The first set will be for the May 1st, 2023 draft minutes that Jody has provided us. I know that not everyone was at that meeting.
Wolfgang was the only one not here.
Wolfgang, right? So, okay. So, and I will move that we accept the draft minutes for May 1st as final draft, or as the final version.
Second.
Drew seconds. Any discussion about those minutes? Okay, all those in favor of approving minutes for May 1st, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I guess there'll be one abstention from.
Exactly.
Okay. And May 15th is a different situation.
Ronnie and Carolyn were not here.
Right, so I'll need one of you to move the minutes.
I so move.
Susan moves,
I will second.
second by Drew. Any discussion about the minutes? I have a piece. I want to thank you all for putting Susan in charge and for Susan to take charge.
My pleasure, my duty, with my able cohorts.
Good.
We wouldn't have been able to do it.
I appreciate it. So the minutes have been moved. Is any other discussion beyond those? All those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
I will abstain.
Zane,
And two abstentions, Carolyn and myself. So thank you all. All right, moving on quickly. Consider the bids for the rental equipment contract for rental of equipment, operators, and laborers. We do this generally every year, just to set up the ability for us to receive bids from rental equipment contractors locally. I noticed on here the dates are wrong. Laborers from June 1st, 2000, or 202 to May 30.
23.
Yeah, 23. So
4.
June 4th, 2023 to May 31st, and that would be 2024.
Yep.
Okay. Typically, we use Belisario for various projects that our crew cannot undertake due to equipment and/or personnel limitations. So that's the reason that we have this one resolution. So I will move this resolution.
Second.
Susan seconds. Is there any discussion about this?
Ronnie, I might miss the details on the, is there any details to look at on this, or is it?
No, I mean, I don't.
Yes, there is a list of each, the way the bid went out, there's a list of each machine or labor and a cost that goes with it.
Okay, but we don't have a copy for tonight.
I could go get it. We'll look at it.
I guess I need to say yes, but maybe, I just wanted to know if it was out there, I guess, at this point.
And we had the TG Miller Engineering here for the opening of bids, and they went through to make sure that all the documents were correct
Okay,
on both of the projects.
okay, good.
So, yes.
So how many bits do we get typically?
That's not my phone, right?
Mine in there.
One.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's usually,
One.
there's only one. Belisario is the only local company that will submit bids. If there are ever more than one, we obviously will undertake.
One year we had two.
Yeah, but it was still, Belisario was still a better price, so that's been the norm. But we open it up formally to anyone who wants to bid for it. It just, a lot of our projects, because we're small, companies just don't want to undertake something that's small. So that's the reason we usually have limited responses.
Okay.
Any other discussions? I will move that we approve resolution number 690 to accept the bid for rental of equipment contract for rental of equipment operators and laborers from June 1st, 2023 to May 31st, 2024, and award the contract to Prolon, Inc., doing business as Belisario Excavating and Drainage.
Second.
Susan seconds. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And the next, I believe that we received some information from John about the water system improvement project. I received an email that, and I thought he copied everyone here too, several pages, like 20-something pages of, do you remember getting that?
No.
Didn't see it.
Actually, I think Jody sent it out via her is that,
We're losing you, John.
sorry about that. I believe Jody sent it out via the scanner on the copier to you and myself.
Okay.
That was the final, the bid that we got.
Yeah, we only received, it
Yes,
was, again, we
the
only
only one.
received one bid for the project. And I did not print it out, it's on my computer. But basically, the amount for the bid, and this is for the water system that will be going below the Graham Road improvements, the final improvements, Wolfgang, and maybe even Drew doesn't know this, the surface that is on the Graham Road West entrance into the mall was basically just superficial, just to get the holes fixed so we could have traffic drive across it. Our next stage is to basically tear that street down to the sublayers, put new street in, also some water infrastructure. This contract is for that water infrastructure. Is that correct, John?
No. If you can hear me, no, it's this is
Okay,
from Graham Road up to around the corner where we left off. I think it's 95 Graham Road, and this is just for the materials to
Okay.
It was a two-part bid. The first part's going to be just the materials, since there's such a long lead time on materials.
okay.
We bid the materials out because it can take up to a year. I heard that they can turn it around in a few months, is what they're saying. So this is just for the materials. From between Ingsley, physical therapy there, all the way up around to backside of Cayuga Graham Road.
Okay, that was my mistake. I thought we were
Sorry.
beginning work on Graham Road West. Okay, all right. Okay, so, yeah, that's the project, that project has been on the books too. I had forgotten about it. Okay,
You're correct, Ronnie, it's still in the budget.
yeah, it's still in the budget. And is it under the budget, John, as far as what we had set aside for that?
Yeah, I think if Jody can correct me, I think we were 20,000 less than we expected.
Okay. So this is just for the materials, correct?
The water pipe, the appurtenances that go along with that, hydrants, bends, fittings, all that stuff.
Okay,
We have a high frequency of water breaks there, and that's the main supply that pumps to the airport tank grid. So it's a lifeline that with a good portion. So they pump up the tank, and then when the pumps are off, it uses the water back off that tank on the gravity setup.
right. And we've had how many, just a rough estimate, how many breaks have we had in that line over the last few years? So the last 3 years or so?
Probably had close to the last few.
Something.
We're only getting like every third or fourth syllable, John. Can you turn your video on and show us fingers? Apparently not.
I think he's gone completely now.
I know that they have had several breaks on that road, and if you drive the road, you know when it's happened, because there will be a big, either there will be work going on, or there's a big patch that happens.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, how many breaks? Now we're not hearing you. It's not that important, John. I was making the point that there have been many breaks on that line. He's not there. That's fine, so, anyway.
I can find that out and let you know.
Yeah, I know that there have been many. It's not like something that, we're not necessarily being proactive and we're not being reactive. It's kind of an in-between. We can keep the line working, but it's at the end of its life cycle, and it's time to get it replaced.
Absolutely.
And it's an important one for the village and the airport, obviously, so, anyway. So I will move resolution number 6981 to accept the bid for the 2023 Water System Improvement Project for Graham Road from Core and Main, LP located at 183 Corporate Drive, Binghamton, New York, in the amount of $245,566.13.
Second.
Susan seconds. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Okay. Thank you. Okay, the next order of business is, we had this discussion, this was before we came on board.
Yeah.
We had a chance to lock in a new natural gas rate, and we were hoping to wait a little bit to see if the prices were going to go down. It doesn't look like they did, so
This is for electricity,
electricity?
Yeah.
which is produced from natural gas.
Which is directly based off the price of natural gas.
Okay, I was thinking it was gas when I read it.
No, we only have 2 gas accounts, they would never do that.
Okay, just not enough, right? Okay, okay. Yeah, this one did say electric, but the other one, when I was reading, it said natural
Yeah,
gas.
because that's what
Okay,
input, yeah.
Because it says it's directly based off the price of natural gas.
Okay.
so that's what they use. So this is not solar-powered energy then, right?
Nope, they do not do that.
They do not do that.
The broker doesn't offer that quote.
Right. Should we consider solar power and pay more?
Do we know it'd be more, or
No, my guess is it would be. Generally, solar power is
if you're getting it from a
clean energy.
Right.
Wind, solar,
producing it, yeah.
yeah.
So I'm going to propose that we ask the community a question about garbage. So maybe this is something that we should consider taking a shorter term. I was actually going to be in favor of doing a longer term, but now that I'm thinking it through, and if I would be in favor of solar if we heard from the community that that was a way that they wanted to go, and I think that that would be a great idea, that we should ask either formally or informally if people want to pursue. So maybe we should take a shorter option to give ourselves enough time to ask and find out what the people want. If they want to pursue solar we'll give them an approximate price of how much more it would be.
Yeah, it'd be good to know what the price differential is, but.
I don't think it's fair for us to decide that, but I would be definitely willing to, similar to what I want to talk about later with garbage, like asking people if it's money they want to spend, rather than us deciding.
Yeah, I think the shorter term is good also because, well, I mean, it's cheaper, but obviously the main thing is that this price, talking to Jody, this is generally tends to be higher than like the last 10 years, like the long-term average. So if something's kind of above, there's usually mean reversion in commodities, so if it's kind of above, then you'd kind of.
I don't think personally, I don't think anything's reverting.
Oil prices and gas have already come down.
And nothing else has, and
Okay.
nothing, people just are used to paying the higher prices, and
But
the companies
commodities,
are like, awesome.
commodities go all over the place.
I'm not seeing it happen, I
Okay.
want it to happen, I think that we'd be
But-
better off with a lower.
Okay, but just.
With a
just-
long term,
Okay.
but I don't want to, because I want to ask people what they want.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, from that perspective, I would advise going, if we're well below the long-term average, I'd say lock in a long one, but you never know where these things go, but that would be my vote for the shorter term. I think I agree with you on the shorter term also. I was gonna say that if it's not a big difference, it'd be something to investigate. Things are changing rapidly, yeah.
I'm kind of a bird in hand kind of person, so I would lock in a long term if I didn't want to ask people if they thought about solar, because I think it's time to ask the community, because, everyone's talking about an Ithaca with the Green New Deal, and they would definitely pick the solar option, even if it costs more, and we should find out what the villagers want to do.
Okay.
So, Jody, if we were going to pursue a question like that,
Would have been great to stuff something right into the tax bills when we sent them last week.
we got time.
We got next year.
Excuse me. So, first of all, I deal with energy since quite a while, so I have a little bit of background in energy. If you ask the community right now, about 90% of the people don't know what they're voting on, because they don't know the background. So you have to ask the right questions and not to get a result which you probably do not intend to get.
okay, that's
So-
fine. I've asked the right questions.
So-
I know that we can ask the question
If-
5 different ways if we want to get a certain answer.
If I ask you right now, why do you want solar? Just tell me. me.
For energy savings for the planet related reasons.
Interesting. You know where the solar panels come from? You know how they are manufactured? You know you have to clean these guys. The efficiency goes down way. You have a lot of land use, which you can't use for anything else. So just go over towards, I was over there today, Cascadia and the likes.
That's why it's more expensive for all those reasons, but it's a renewable.
Actually.
No, it looks awful, so.
Solar and wind is actually lower than for gas. So it's moving that direction. The costs have come down significantly, battery costs are falling.
They haven't come down too much.
They have.
Honestly, they haven't come down too much, if you look at it. So I'm all for solar, putting it on roofs,
Yeah, because that's the retail wholesale.
because the roof's there anyway, so you don't destroy any land, you don't block any driveways, you don't block anything. Put it on your roof, I'm all for that. Just to ask people, do you want solar? Honestly, you need to have a real sophisticated set of questions to get the right result.
Okay, I mean, we can ask a sophisticated set of questions. I think we're a sophisticated group of villagers who understand the implications that you're implying. And again, it's a matter of, I don't want to spend other people's money without asking them if it's a direction that they want to support. And if they do, then I'd be interested in pursuing it. But like I said, right now, we're just deciding how long of a term we want to lock in. And so if it's an argument in favor of a shorter term, if we want to investigate whether people are interested in a solar option and then how much that would cost. And it wouldn't be through this broker, Jody, so then where would that source come from?
Solar,
Could be solar,
it
wind.
would probably, I don't even know. NICEAG has a solar
Okay,
option.
okay.
I don't know.
They do.
Okay, so we'd ask them what.
I don't know who else.
are.
And NL has something.
Yeah,
The, the solar, is it Solar New York, Solar Farm New York?
They just changed businesses, now they're Atlas.
Yes, yes.
But there are companies out there that are setting up larger scale solar power that feed back into the grid, and we can get information. The Cornell Cooperative Extension people have feelers out to all of the different companies, and we can just ask them to give us some contacts for that.
That'd be great, yeah.
And probably we can get some potential survey questions for our residents from them too about solar.
And then,
Been wanting to come in and make presentations to our villagers at some point soon anyway. And we can just kind of incorporate all that as part of our Climate Smart Communities Task Force. So
Just to be clear, Jody, how much is this? Is just for the village's electricity, right?
Yeah,
our facilities, our facilities.
just ours.
How much is, do you have any sense of how much that is?
How much do we spend on energy?
How much we spend or even kill, like if you have.
I mean, well, because you have streetlights, and then you have buildings, and then you have traffic, and there's 3 different line items in the budget, and I can add them all up for you, because we're at month end, or year end, so I'll give you a number.
Yeah, just ballpark.
But I mean, or you just look at the budget and see how much we budget.
I'll take a look at that.
Right.
even better would be the number of kilowatt hours.
I have that all in a spreadsheet, too. I can send you.
Great, thank you.
Jody has it.
Well, I do have to report that to the state. So I have it in a spreadsheet, but I don't always get the bills, they're not perfect, but it's close.
So in terms of the item on the table, then, are people comfortable going with the shorter option for both the fact that it's less expensive, and then also we could maybe make a switch if we wanted to next year? And Drew feels positive about the direction of.
No, I don't feel positive, I just say.
I feel negative.
Honestly,
I will say I feel negative.
They go in cycles, that's all.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll probably be wrong, but.
I really hope you're right.
Wrong, yeah,
I hope
yeah.
you're right.
It's a dynamic market right now. So we're
I
talking,
like your positivity.
we're talking about the Hudson 16-month term?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. I'm just making notes to myself about our task force getting in touch with CCE. Solar providers, okay. And survey questions. Let's see if they've got recommendations on how to do that. We could do something obviously online, but I don't know how well that can be communicated. But we can possibly tie that in with a presentation by CCE and some of the providers about what's available for the community, make it a community event. I know that the CCE has been looking at bringing in, I can't remember the name of the little mobile house that shows solar and heat, air source heat pumps, et cetera, as a model to show people what's going on. That's more for personal use if they want to convert for their home. But it also, we can try to get some information from.
I'm curious about what happened with Solar Farms New York in terms of just their business model. Because now it's,
I am too.
yeah, they're just,
Don't say so.
no, they're just like, now we're Atlas.
Really?
And then but they were like, it will still honor your 10% discount as a villager.
All right, so for this energy renewal, formally, I will move that we accept the supplier Hudson's 16-month term price. Ours would be without tax, Jody? Are we taxed on ours?
Nope,
Okay, I didn't think so.
tax exempt because we're government.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it applied to energy, you just never know. With the the second column here, 0.06850 cents per kilowatt hour, I suspect, per kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
Need a second?
Second.
Okay, Susan seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. That's everything specifically on the agenda tonight. So now it's just roundtable general discussion. Carol, do you have anything?
So I know that you have some garbage to talk that you want to
Yes,
do,
I
and
do.
I have some garbage.
I'm gonna fill you on some trash I've collected.
Yeah, so
yes.
I had this file on my desk labeled garbage, and as you guys know, I went to Argentina for a week and a half, and I came back and I was like, what's this? What is my
throw it away?
garbage?
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that even mean? And then I was like, oh yeah, garbage, my favorite topic. I can't believe I forgot what garbage meant. So I made a couple phone calls. I spoke to Marathon, where they took over the garbage for their community, and I asked them about it. And they have a subcontractor called Blue Moose who picks up the garbage once a week, and they have a small village, so I asked them some costs and stuff. But before I get into any of the details, what I kind of decided was that it's a lot, and they get a lot of pushback when things go wrong, and it's messy, no pun intended. So taking over the garbage, I think, is not a direction that we want to pursue. It just seems like when things go wrong, and they will go wrong, then it's going to be us, and it's just, no, I don't think that's a great idea. But I did get a lot of cost information from them and about the amnesty and stuff. So Cortland County, as you know, has amnesty. And so I kind of reached out to Tompkins County Trash and asked them about amnesty. And you know, they were like, well, it would be a countywide decision, and the county legislator could vote in such an amnesty day. But then what goes around comes around, and we'll still be wind up, then they would raise our taxes to pay for it. And so even though it's amnesty and it seems like it's free garbage, it's really, you pay for it. So there's no such thing as free garbage. So I did look into that. And then I talked to Cuba Heights, because, you know, they were always my model for wanting to get stuff picked up, and they have their DPW do it. And I asked them about the time and the cost for their DPW, and actually I'm still waiting the final numbers from them on that. But what I'm thinking about, which is what I wanted to kind of raise, is that if we're getting the fourth DPW person for a variety of jobs, this could also be something that we then took on, and it wouldn't be garbage per se, it would be like maybe a semi-annual or annual, you know, where they take it's just the DPW guys come around with a trailer, and then they pay per ton at the dump, and that's what Cuba Heights does, they just pay per ton. They actually do it monthly? I thought they did it annually, I don't know where I got that from, because it's actually monthly. I didn't realize that, because there's so much trash out there. But I think that would be what I wanted to ask the villagers, like, are you interested in having a semi-annual? And we would figure out, based on Cuba Heights numbers, extrapolate what it would be, and then it would be a cost, it would be a tax raise that people would pay, so that, you know, everyone would come, you know, the village, the money would come from somewhere, and the answer is it would come from our budget, we would budget for it.
Right.
So ultimately, that's taxes. So, but when I do get the final numbers from Cuba Heights, I want to see if people want to do it. This is how much of the budget would be devoted to this, you know, approximating. Now, Cuba Heights did tell me, interestingly, they don't do apartments. And so did Marathon, actually. So it would be residences, single family, or maybe duplexes too. So it would be duplex limited. But I'm still interested in the idea.
So how do you, because we have so many apartments here, if it's going to be increasing the tax rate, how is that fair to them? Because I mean, you can't give them a different tax rate just because their apartment not getting that service.
Yeah, I mean, I guess,
Now you're making the apartments pay for something that they're not getting.
yeah.
We'd have to, let's find a way to not tax.
Or we could do it differently than Cuba Heights. I'm just telling you what they did.
Well, our
don't
taxes
do.
have to increase no
Yeah.
matter what for that.
Yeah, you'd have to find budget, or you'd either have to take something out of the budget or put something in the you know, to put something in the budget, or
Could you just charge single homes or duplex? That'd be-
yeah. So,
A suggestion might be,
nice.
and related to that, Carolyn, excuse me, is if we rent roll-off dumpsters and put a couple here and say, people, you can bring things, items from your own house, and you can just put it
A
in.
great way to start.
And then we would just have to pay to get those picked up and moved down and pay per ton also.
That'd be a great way to start. Yeah, it wouldn't be the sofas, but it'd be
We would.
bulky items.
I think it would be a lot less expensive than having a crew drive around and pick up things. That way people could, we didn't have the ability to move it down to recycling or the waste, or the city dump, county dump, to do it here. That might be a possibility too.
The thing that would worry me about that is that I know with Simon, and Simon used to talk about this all the time, with, when he had dumpsters on his property, is just the abuse that they would get. So that,
Increased traffic in and out of here. Did we talk about that?
yeah,
Yeah,
not so much the
that's
traffic,
what-
it's just worried that people would just dump their, it's not intended for your household garbage, it'd be intended for like,
Or people
gonna-
coming by and
Non-residents.
vandalizing.
right,
Oh,
right, yeah, so, yeah. It's not simple, which is why we don't have this right now, but,
That's why we don't do it right now.
right, but I do like the idea of asking people if they're interested in, we could do a pilot program.
We talked about yard waste. Does that include that? So then,
Well, yard waste, you can just bring to, yeah, I mean, we could increase the brush pickup, like, right now, I bring my yard waste to the town, which is town resident, are we town residents, or just?
Yes, you are.
As town residents, we just, it's no cost there, which is great, because now they charge downtown, I used to bring it downtown, and now I drive this way, it's a little bit further, but it's free.
You can pick up free mulch there too, if anybody wants mulch.
Oh, interesting, I didn't know that.
maybe we should let people know.
Does that come in bags?
No,
So you have to shovel,
grind it up,
shovel it onto a
Put it in the
tarp?
truck, yeah.
and if you're lucky, if you get there at the right time, they'll use their
Scoopy thing?
Oh, so you need a truck, you need a truck. Okay.
Or like they do City of Ithaca, just trash bag, they, down by, opposite the golf course downtown, between Stewart Park and the transportation in the inlet.
I like calling it a pilot program and doing a one-time, or maybe just asking the residents first, or seeing how much it costs the first year, putting it in the budget next year based on the numbers I get from Kega Heights as to approximate cost.
So wait a minute,
One of the problems I
Yeah.
see is that you get people in here and we've got equipment up there. And we've got supplies, a whole lot of,
No, I'm talking about the rounding up the household, I think they called it white, what are they, the official
I
name?
thought you were talking about dumpsters,
No, I'm talking about white goods. I'm talking about, that's the official garbage term.
white goods.
Yeah, I'm talking about white good pickup by DPW pilot program.
Then they
Carolyn.
pick it up, you're gonna,
That goes, and then they bring it to Tompkins County Waste, and they pay $96 a ton.
so if somebody has a couch,
Somebody has a couch.
people have to lift it up and put it into our dump truck.
No, yeah, we need a flatbed truck, right? A
Well,
flatbed or
And
trailer.
how many trips is that gonna take?
I can ask Kate how many they do. I'll ask them. That's what I'm waiting, that's the information I'm waiting for them. How many trips?
But if
They were gonna give
every
me the
month,
costs.
Yeah,
Yeah. They were gonna give me their approximate cost, but they haven't sent me the email
And
yet.
Cuyahoga Heights has its own, they pick up their trash.
They do the
themselves.
trash too,
So
but
this
I-
would be-
Yeah,
This is
I was
kind
gonna
of a
baby step,
supplemental,
to start with the white.
No, I was
goods.
just wondering if that helps them do this monthly.
Definitely, because they're already going out there.
Right.
They're already used to it, they already have the staff for it, so yes.
So we would actually,
definitely helps.
part of this would
they
be,
have staff actually dedicated to
Yes.
that, don't they?
Yeah,
yes. So you
Yeah.
get some, if there's some efficiency from public, managing it and cost savings from that, the efficiency and so forth.
They also have a lot more people in their DPW.
Yeah, right.
how many,
I don't know how much that,
Really high.
how many people do they have?
I think there's at least 12
Wow,
over there.
wow. That's a lot.
yeah.
It will, part of when I said this at the beginning was, when we're thinking about the fourth employee for the DPW, this would be a task related to that. Obviously, but it's two persons, but so you'd have to divvy your time differently, but anyway, that's just the kind of the research, and you did some research also.
Yeah, I mean,
So what
I
is your
think, I
research?
don't know if I can add much more, but I talked to Casella and Doug's. So on the bulk amnesty, Doug's can't do because they don't have a dumpster. The dumpster's too small. And both Casella and Doug say they won't go house to house. They'll give you a dumpster. Actually, only Casella has a dumpster big enough. You'd leave the location, residents can throw large items in there and they'll pick it up. But, you think about, are we checking IDs? Are people
gonna stay
college town
Yeah.
throwing stuff in, we have to
Yeah,
pay for
yeah.
it to get removed. Folks taking stuff out or, picking through it, where do you put it, that's kind of, all those things you'd have to kind of think of. And, I myself have occasionally bulk things, but every once in a while I'll go to I get the little yearly pass and do that. But, so I don't know, those are the things, as far as Doug's and Casella's, that's what they'd offer. They're just Casella, really. And as far as aggregating for the village pickup, Doug's won't do for some of the reasons you mentioned he did Dryden, but found it third-party setup challenging. People would call the trustees, and they call him.
Right.
But, I mean, just Casella can do it. They do it at Trumansburg, 800 households. And because of efficiencies, they said that instead of charging $30 per household per month, it ends up being $6 per household.
Wow,
So it's because they can just hit every house on the route.
that's huge.
Now, so that sounds good at face value, but to really give us a price, you'd have to kind of look at the roadmap and get the households, and it's not apartments, and so you'd have to think of that through. So it'd be a huge, again, in the last, since August 2021, my trash pickup prices have gone up 58%. Diesel prices I looked up went up a lot, but they're down, they're only 20% higher than 2021, August 20. So, I don't think, I'm not so optimistic about, trash pickup falling, cutting the prices. But, so the $6 a household a month,
That's tempting.
yeah, but I think to your point, and everyone's mentioned, there's a lot of catches to it. And, it would go, $6 more would go up on your taxes, so your taxes would go up, but overall you'd be saving money if that, but I think we'd have, I'll just talk to Trumansburg just to kind of cross the T, so to speak, and, kind of get more information from Trumansburg, Dryden, get more information, which I haven't done yet, but, I think.
I think
we
you
have-
keep looking into it, that's a
Yeah,
huge savings.
The only other thing is too, is you gotta think about, now you got people, if they don't do a very good job,
They'll call.
then they're gonna call our office.
That's what I was saying.
And then
You
we,
need another person in
and
the
you also-
office to be dealing
yes.
with these complaints.
yeah.
I mean, and then what happens if there's too many complaints and we don't like them anymore?
It's a yeah.
There's no other service to choose.
It's a 2-year fixed contract, so that if, diesel prices will go up, that's kind of what the price is, but then again, when that price ends, it's hard to negotiate when you're kind of like, okay, now this is going up too much, so we're gonna drop it and then go back to the way it was. They still have to buy the tags, by the way, I should mention. And the other thing, I forgot what I was gonna, yeah, I think it's funny you mentioned that, I mentioned, it slipped my mind at the moment, but yeah, so I think that's something, prevailing wage, we talked about last time, that's what it was. I'd have to ask them how they deal with that, but I think just because if I didn't get the 30 to 6, I probably would just be like, but I'll check that just to kind of fully.
Yeah, let's talk to Trumansburg, because let's hear how many complaints they got.
Yeah.
And, how difficult it was for them, because that is appealing. That is a huge difference.
It's a big reduction, yeah, so, but.
I think people would be very interested in that if we took a survey.
We'll see, yeah, again, there's the price and then there's any catches. Because, yeah, so we'll see, yeah, but that's it, that'd be interesting to kind of know what the pros and cons.
Right. Yeah, when you speak with Trumansburg, find out, does the service include apartments?
Oh, I don't think it does, that's the thing, so, I think we can't, if it's hard to separate out the taxes, Casella said they don't, I don't think that Trumansburg would have.
So I did speak to the Marathon subcontractor,
Yeah.
and even though we're not in Cortland County, they said they would come here. So I think obviously Casella sounds a lot cheaper, because these guys were more than that per month. They have a weird system, actually, I didn't go into it, but they use these totes, which they provide, it's not bags, and then it gets dumped, so, yeah, so there's this whole system. but it was probably more than that. It was closer to $22 a month, so it wasn't really necessarily worth it.
So if they don't use bags, they don't have to buy tags.
There's no
Right,
tags.
right.
So then.
And the company gives you the totes. They give, so this Blue Moose people would give every single resident this, I don't know what a tote is.
Well, it's like a.
Giant can?
Trash can, I think they probably have some.
By the company, because that's what I have. That's, my garbage can is a tote, but I guess it's an official,
Wheelie bin, or if
it's an
it's.
official one. And then you get these, you get one for recycling and one for garbage.
And they're picking up, well, the 22 might include the recycling.
It does. it
Okay,
includes
'cause, we
recycling.
pay that
Yeah, we
something
don't have the
different for us,
recycling.
so
Yeah, we get free recycling. That was, yeah, we talked about that, actually. But anyway,
Yeah.
if Casella didn't work out, there would possibly be another company, because they
Right.
did say that
So that makes it easier.
they were interested when I called
Yeah.
them and spoke to them
Yeah.
in giving us a bid. And I was like, we're not there yet. I'm just calling you to say hello. We're not asking for a bid.
But yeah, I think the questions about equity are important for the apartments and how to think that through.
Yeah, we probably have a higher apartment ratio than either Cedar Heights or Trumansburg.
I think so. But I appreciate researching this, research it some more, and we'll just keep working on it. If we find a way of solving this, maybe a quarterly pickup or something. If monthly is cheaper, monthly is okay.
For the bulk, you're talking about, right? The bulk.
Yeah, for bulk, but for quarterly, for bulk too. And we could start approaching our residents and just say, we could even have a public hearing and just find out what.
$6 a month is great. I mean, that would be, I think most people would be really excited if we actually went up
For
with
the
that.
aggregating
That
it,
would
yeah.
be great.
Well, yeah. We'll have to hear, it, yeah.
Versus 30, I mean,
Collect all the cons too.
yeah.
But yeah, that does sound good.
Bring back some more information, and we'll just continue down this road, but definitely thank you both for doing that. Anything else, Carolyn?
That's it.
Drew?
Yeah, I mentioned to the folks here last time, I talked to Steve Felker about the homeless situation. He's found some needle remnants, the property, stolen property, break-ins in the
Still
church.
showing up?
Yeah, I think, I can't remember, I think maybe recently it's gone down a little bit, I think, but I might be misstating, but I think that's what my impression was, at least having talked to him. But, walking the property as well. But the two things that I think, I visited with him for like an hour or so, and the two things I thought were kind of things to follow up on perhaps, is that he suggested speaking with local businesses to collect, because some people have brought up theft and that type of thing, so maybe speaking to local businesses in this area, collecting info on the frequency, dollar amounts of shoplifting and so forth. Maybe that would, if there's police enforcement that's necessary, that would be a way to collect the data, so they'd have. The second thing would be, which I thought was interesting, is the Econo Lodge follow-up with the county and maybe the continuum of care, just to ensure, kind of dovetailing a little bit what Professor Willison said, to ensure that people who are there, if they're going to be there, that they receive sufficient support, that their situation's improving, that they're getting follow-up and that type of thing.
Right.
So I think those are things that would be helpful in terms of their situation and the situation of everybody, to make sure that they're not just kind of housed there and things will get better for them, but that it's actually becoming a solution.
Yeah. From what I understand, they have support,
Yeah.
but I don't know how you measure that. I haven't heard of it, it's good, bad, or,
Right.
available but not used, that type of thing. So it's probably good information to have.
Yeah.
And the county would definitely be interested in that too. They might even have the information. I can ask Deborah about who to contact.
Yeah, it'd be good to just talk.
Health and Human Services, but I just can't think of the person's name at the moment, so I can get a person that you can talk with.
Yeah, just to talk to them, kind of like how far they could do in terms of the standard support and where.
What do they do now? How do they measure it? How do they deal with complaints and what's going on? It's not just the Econo Lodge. They have several places around the county and city that they use. So how do they support it?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Anything else?
No, that's it for now.
Okay. Susan?
Nothing.
Nothing? Jody?
We need to talk about these,
The 19th,
19th and the 3rd,
the 3rd of
July
July.
3rd.
Jody mentioned the other day when I was in that we need to possibly have a meeting on the 19th to take care of timely business. So we might need to have a meeting on June 19th, which is a federal holiday. It's on our list of holidays.
We'll all be working.
Oh, it is on our list. It is on our list of holidays? It is.
Yeah, it is. We added it last year. This is the second year we've had it. So what type, you said quickly, Jody, what type of business would we be handling on the 19th?
We have to do budget transfers at some point,
Okay.
and I need to do those, I mean, I guess we could do them if you guys want to have a meeting on the 3rd.
What about on the
I'm
15th?
not gonna be here.
What about the lunch meeting on the 15th?
Well, that's when you approve vouchers. I can't very well give you budget transfers until after all that is done. So, what about even having a meeting in July? Like that first week or the beginning of the next week, or
A special meeting?
just have a special
Is
meeting?
July 3rd a holiday? Is that the issue?
It's, yeah, Monday,
Yeah.
and then the 4th is Tuesday.
Right, but so is July 3rd a holiday? Is it?
Observed.
It's not a holiday, no,
Right,
So-
why?
but I won't be here.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, I see.
Critical information there. Okay.
So when
I mean,
we,
I guess I could be here if I needed to be here, but.
If you have plans, you're not here.
when will you be back?
Huh?
When will you be back?
I'll be back in the office on the 5th.
I'm free July 5th.
Why don't we give it the sec, give me one day to make sure I have all the information together?
Jody, when would you like to meet? When do the transfers in a timely manner need to be done?
They need to be done, well,
26th.
What about June 26th?
Yeah, June 26th, yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
By 1 week,
Yeah,
June 26th.
right, that's a great idea.
if we're all here.
So we're canceling the the 19th is already officially canceled.
Officially canceled.
Canceling the July 3rd meeting and having a meeting on June.
26th,
26.
yeah, that's great.
Monday, the 26th,
26th.
and there'll be probably a planning board meeting on the 27th, so that wouldn't be a conflict.
Right, because they meet on Tuesday.
First, yeah, that's the last of the month,
26th.
and the 27th would be a planning board.
At 7:30.
26th at 7:30.
Does that work for you, or do you want to do it at 7?
7:30 works. Okay, that works.
So, and you would be here for that.
26th, yeah, let me
Okay.
grab and just check.
I mean, Casella already does pretty much every house on my block. I can't imagine adding like 4 more houses, the price drops by 82%.
Yeah, I don't know what, yeah, I know,
I know one of my neighbors doesn't use Casella.
yeah.
That's it.
That's why I kind of feel like you'd have to, when someone gives you a headline price like that, you're like, oh, okay.
That was a really good price.
Yeah, yeah, because even if it were 15, it'd be like, oh, it's kind of worth thinking about.
Yeah, that's half.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're charging 3 times as much, I'd still be interested. So,
that extra
Check.
house on the block.
Sorry, Jody checked, and June 26th works, 7:30 PM, so that would be a special meeting. And basically to deal with budget transfers. I've also had a request from people at CCE to come in and give us a 10 or 15-minute presentation on the new non-pipeline alternatives projects that they have going on. Would it be okay to have them come that evening too?
There was also, Mike was talking about people that wanted to come in about the PDA, a possible PDA up in the Bomax.
Right.
Do we want to do that day too?
What's a PDA?
Plan development area. They get special rules.
Yeah, I see.
So that would be, they would,
Section 125.
how long that would take?
Zoning,
It would be under 20 minutes.
yeah.
Half an hour
Kind of
questions or something. Yeah, okay.
Because of the budget
Yeah.
transfer won't take
Budget transfers are not gonna take but 3 minutes,
3 to 5 minutes. That's right.
because I'll send them to Spark.
PDA.
Okay. All right, so we have three topics for that evening: the budget transfers, the non-pipeline alternatives, which I will contact Agnes at Cornell Cooperative mention about that, and a potential half-hour presentation on a proposed PDA over on Bomax. Would that be?
Did the planning board already see the presentation and they're in favor of it?
Mike said they want to come to us first,
Yeah,
They meaning the developers?
to see if it's anything we would even entertain.
yeah. The PDAs, we,
That's backwards, though, I mean, because the first thing we're gonna say is, what does the planning board think of this?
A presentation
Mike
for
is the
him.
one that said, so I don't know if that was from the planning board, that they want him to come to us first, or.
Ask Lorraine. Lorraine, what happened at the planning board meeting?
This is the first that I'm hearing about this. This has not been discussed at the planning board meeting at all. And Mike has not shared any of this with us.
Okay.
So my feeling is that if a developer says, I want to show the board of trustees first, we'll say, no, our village policy is that these decisions are from the planning board.
PDAs are not, though, because it's a law, a change in, we're adding a PDA by law. I think they want to just, if we're going to say, there's just no way we're going to let you do this, they don't want to waste their time with the planning board also. This would be a high level.
Yeah, but only 2 of the 5 people here have been on the, have you been on the planning board?
No,
Yeah, so
I've been,
you attend all the meetings, so you have some idea.
Or there must be something in the code that says they're supposed to do this for a PDA,
Somehow
otherwise
it-
Mike wouldn't send it to us first.
no, and somehow when it was the parcel,
Where's the-
Route 13 and because I was in 2019, the parcel now that, the swim club,
oh, yes,
that parcel,
right.
somehow I recall coming forward to the board of trustees prior to the steps they would have to take. It's sort of foggy, that was when I
It
was.
says any applicant wishing for approval for a planned development area must submit his or her request to the planning board with a copy to the board of trustees at the same time in the form of a preliminary proposal, which must include 1, 2, 3. Within 45 days after submission of the complete preliminary proposal, the planning board schedules a conference with the applicant to review. So it really starts at the planning board, and we just get a copy of it. I think that we should follow the procedure. Because sometimes I think we're too liberal with our time. Did you ask Mike at least?
Yeah, we can talk with Mike and see
If he
what,
has a good reason.
typically, we might get an indication early on from certain projects, but it's rare. The changes to the mall, for instance, they came to Mayor Hartill, and I was involved in that, and I don't remember if it was Mike or, I can't remember the guy before him, Adam, to tell us their plans to subdivide the mall. So it's a similar thing, but this is just a traditional PDA. There wouldn't be a problem, but there might be an unusual circumstance. Let's talk with Mike and see if he feels that it's important and why, and that we had concerns that we were jumping over the planning board when their feedback would be beneficial to us too. So I can do that.
Yeah,
I'll contact him and copy everyone here and see what he says.
yeah, and just looking at the objectives of A through H, and if they're not hitting those objectives, then they should rethink their project without anybody reviewing it. Which are, more desirable environment, development pattern, harmony with long-range objectives of the village, efficient use of land, creative use of land, preservation of trees, more usable open space and recreation area, convenience and flexibility, and a maximum choice in the types of occupancy and tenure, cooperatives, ownership that are beneficial to village residents at all economic levels. So let's ask them first if those are their objectives.
All right, we'll contact Mike. There's a possibility that it might be on the 26th meeting, but we'll know before then. We've got to get that settled. So I will move that we have a June 26th special meeting specifically to deal with budget transfers and other topics that might.
Second.
Seconds, is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, so we'll have a special meeting Monday.
You're canceling the third meeting and rescheduling. You're canceling the July 3rd meeting and rescheduling for Monday, June 26th at 7:30.
Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. Okay, we got the. Okay, so what? Did I not say all those in favor?
Did we say aye?
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
Oh, you mean
The dates?
July 3rd?
No, the motion is to cancel the July 3rd meeting and reschedule for Monday, June 26th at 7:30.
Okay, we did the first part.
You did,
We
Ronnie
got-
moved it, Susan second, now we need an ayes.
Aye.
Oh, we had already voted on it.
I think we had that already.
If we haven't, we voted twice, and the results were the same.
Yeah.
All right. Generally, there are usually mayor's comments, but I don't really have any tonight. Just thank everyone for giving Deborah and I some time off. We had a good time. Carolyn, it sounds like your time was good, if you forget about garbage while you're on.
I have a lot to tell you guys about Argentina versus US, so.
So anyway, I don't have any more for tonight. I thank everyone for being here. So I will move that we adjourn.
Second.
Bruce seconds. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, our meeting is officially over at 8:29.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
With my friends who live on Giga Heights Road, their village